Facebook and YouTube now. Fantastic. What is going on, everybody? I'm gonna fix this little screen over here. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's having a great evening. It's been a fun day in the garden. Oh, my microphone. I've been off all week. I've been off this week. And so having a good time, catching up on some garden stuff. Doing some garden stuff around the house. It is Thanksgiving week. I haven't done a live on TikTok in a long time. So we're live on TikTok now too. Right now. So we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Trying to get my life in order here. Sorry, guys. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Drop your garden questions down below. Drop your gardening questions down below. Yeah, I got my onions planted today. Onions got planted. I went to Houston Garden Center today. I don't usually go to Houston Garden Center, honestly, much because I try to support smaller businesses and everything like that. But they have good sales this time of year. They have really good sales this time of year. So I went and I was actually just going for some pots. I needed some big ceramic pots for some big hibiscuses that I got in the front yard. I need some heavy duty, big ceramic pots for the front yard so they'll stop falling over. What's going on, Kay? How you doing? Let me know in the chat where you're from and where you're watching from, and what you got growing in the garden right now. So I went by there, and apparently Houston Garden Center has everything like 70% off right now, which is pretty crazy. I guess there's nobody on, so I don't need to have my headphones on. I don't know why I did that. Found they had 70% off almost all their plants. So I got probably a 4-foot tall papaya plant that I'm going to repot and put it in the garage. And then I also got probably about a 4-foot tall single stem knockout rose, which is more of like I would say it's like a light pink. They had like the highlighter red, like knockout roses, but I wanted something a little bit softer for the front yard. We do a lot of vincas and a lot of multicolored vincas and stuff in the front flower bed. So I wanted to go ahead and do something up there that was a little softer. So hope you are doing good. Like I said, we're live on TikTok, or we're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook right now. This is the Texas Garden Guy Show. We try to do these lives every week. Man, I try to do when I have time. It's getting kind of crazy this time of year, but I try to go live on Facebook and YouTube on Monday. On Wednesday, we have the garden party. The garden party is a live stream we do on Facebook and YouTube this week. I do it every week with Phil from Phil's Figs and Gardening with Des. I do that with her. And then we also have a special guest this week, and that's going to be Garden Marcus. If y'all don't know who Garden Marcus is, follow Garden Marcus. So last time he was on, we were literally all in tears crying. It's like, it was just an emotional episode. It was like our best episode ever. We do post all of our episodes on Spotify as well. So if you can't catch the lives, or you just want to listen to them while you're driving around, make sure to go follow the garden party on Spotify. But we do the live stream every Wednesday on Facebook and YouTube at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. But tonight we're doing the Texas Garden Guy Show. And that is where I just kind of catch up on what all I did over the weekend, what all I'm trying to get done this week, and then all that good stuff. So if y'all have any garden questions, drop them down below. Let's see. Houston had just planted 250 onions. Yeah, I got a package from Haas Tools. Grow Haas. Greg over there at Haas Tools. He's really, really cool. And I got those in, and I kept them in the box a little too long. I should have pulled them out of the box. But I kept them in the garage for like 2 or 3 days, and it's been a little warm here in the Houston area. And I opened it up this afternoon, and it was a little slimy, a little nasty in there, and I think maybe I just left them in there for too long. So I went ahead and I sorted through them, and any of the ones that are like kind of rotten or nasty, I kind of just tossed them. But I did a video. I went out there and videoed the entire process. I did them in a big smart pot. I got these smart pots. They're these awesome fabric beds that they're made in the USA. They're made out of in Oklahoma City. That's where they're out of. And they're really good materials. I have a link for them in my bio. There's a discount link for them. And I did a 36-inch wide. I've got two 36-inch wide ones, and I've got a 50-inch wide one. So I went with a 36-inch wide smart pot raised bed, which is 12 inches tall. It took 7 cubic feet, so that was like I had set. I think I did four. I think I did 3 bags of the Living Earth rose soil, and I did 4 bags of the organic veggie. So, and I planted out of the 50, which I'm sure he sent more than 50 onions. Anytime you order from Haas, if you order 50, you're probably usually getting like 60, I bet, because I pulled a dozen of them that look kind of nasty, and um, you know, it I had 45 left over. So there was way more than 50 in that package, which is really awesome. So got my onions planted, put some Nelson plant food fertilizer on there. That's the only really granular fertilizer I use. Yeah, really excited to get some onions. Onions are going great this year. When I got my haircut, I needed a haircut so bad. The lady, Sheila, if you're watching this, Sheila follows me on TikTok. She's the lady who cuts my hair. Sweet lady. She's been cutting my hair for probably 2 or 3 years now. Only person I allowed to cut my hair and the only person allowed to trim my beard is Sheila. She was watching one of my videos as I was walking into the tune-up today, and she's like, "Yeah, I was watching one of your videos. I could tell you needed a haircut." So that was funny. Let's see, got some comments over here. Good morning from North Queensland, Australia. G'day, Chris. Growing all the things in my San Antonio fall garden: brassicas, strawberries, carrots, tomatoes, beans, garlics, and herbs. Yes, yes. I was propagating a bunch of rosemary as well. Bunch of rosemary. I got some questions over here on the TikTok side too. Let me pull this up here a second. I got mine from Haas also. Yeah, Haas has a lot of cool stuff. Definitely go check out Haas. Yes, you'll see. Looking for a greenhouse tunnel that I can put shade cloth in the summer and a greenhouse cover in the winter. What's your recommendation? So my recommendation, if you're looking for a greenhouse, I will say if you can wait and get one next spring, do it next spring, because anytime you order a greenhouse like in the wintertime, they're typically more expensive. So if you can wait, hold off and get one next spring or maybe even in the summer, get it then, and it'll be easier to set up and everything too. You don't have to worry about rushing to get it done in the cold. My kit is a Shelter Logic. It is a 12-foot wide by 20 inches, or sorry, 12-foot wide by 20-foot long, and it's 8 feet tall. It's a good frame. I don't know if it's the best greenhouse, but it's a really rugged frame. We've had a couple hurricanes. I've had 111-mile-an-hour winds here in the Houston area during Hurricane Beryl, and it held up with the shade cloth on top, didn't budge. And I, honest to God, do not even have my greenhouse secured to the ground. My greenhouse structure, honest to God, is just I did a border of treated 4x6 timbers that made a border around it, and then I secured the greenhouse to that border. And so there's nothing going into the ground. I don't have it anchored. But like I said, in the springtime, I take the greenhouse off. I take the greenhouse plastic off. And I had that shade cloth on, and my greenhouse does not budge. I had 111-mile-an-hour winds here in July and did not budge. If I had the plastic on, it might be different. It might have taken the plastic. Doubt it would have taken the greenhouse with it. But once that wood makes ground contact with all the moisture, it's not really going anywhere. So yeah, but I mean, there's a bunch of different brands. I would really like to have one of those, sturdier greenhouses with, the plexiglass, but I just don't know if most of those, if you're able to remove them during the spring, because it just gets so hot here in the Houston area, and the wind and the storms and the tropical storms and the hurricanes are so bad that it just doesn't make sense to have one that's like rigid and closed in year round. It just does not make sense. I'd have to go out there and strap it to the ground with ratchet straps. It'd be a nightmare. So I would have to have something that I can take the plastic off of. That's the only option. Let's see. Are you on the north side of Houston, and do you have consultations? I'm on the south side of Houston. I'm not actually in Houston per se. I'm in Brazoria County. I don't currently do consultations. I have a full-time job that I do like regular work. I do all this. I say it's my second job. It's like all encompassing. So it's but it's not a job. I enjoy doing it. And if you have any questions, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and I'll try to get back to you. I'm just really busy, and even this time of year, it just has not stopped. It has not stopped. It's so busy. The events have stopped, but there's still so much to do. I literally made a list on my whiteboard of. I went through my hard drive. I've got a 2 terabyte hard drive. I have well, I have two 1 terabyte hard drives and two terabyte hard drives. And I made a list of all the videos that I have to get edited before the end of the year. I've got to have a deadline. I want to get all these videos out before the end of the year. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 topics. There's like multiple reels and stuff out of that. So trying to get all that out before the end of the year is pretty insane. Not to mention, I'm creating more videos as I go. You ever hear someone who works at the post office and they say why they are insane, and you're like what's wrong with working at the post office? And they're like, it never stops coming. It's always coming, but it never stops. It's just so that's it's so it's what it's like gardening. That's what it's like gardening and creating content. You're always making it because especially in the Houston area, there's never a time of year where I can't grow anything. Even especially with my indoor setup that I've got in my garage. I mean, I am good to go now with that Northern Tools deal I did. The video should be coming out soon. I'm waiting for clearance to post that, and then I'll have a full video of the entire setup on YouTube and Facebook coming out. But the whole 3 or 4 days full of work, all wrapped up in 60 seconds, will come out soon. Let me scroll through and maybe answer some questions from TikTok real quick. I don't want to ignore the people on the TikTok. There's a lot of people in here. Let's see. Any questions? I know I saw a couple. Big fan of love. Hey, what's going on, Colt? Hi, I'm a big fan of love gardening. Thanks, Colt. Like I said, if you're in the chat, drop your questions down below. I wonder if I can do all these on StreamYards. I might be able to get on TikTok on StreamYards. We'll see. Can we still plant onions and garlic in the Dallas area? You may be getting close in the Dallas area, but garlic and onions do fairly well in the cold. You may just have to go and maybe mulch with some straw or some hay if it gets really cold. I'm in Houston. I'm in 9B. You're in Dallas. You might be in 8A or 7B. It depends on what part, I think. But yeah, what I would do is what I always recommend people to do when they ask me, hey, especially when they ask me about something that's not in my area, I would always say, especially since you're in Texas, go look up your county. Go look up whatever county you're in. Put in, I'm in Brazoria County, so I go Brazoria County and I go AgriLife. Type in AgriLife. What AgriLife is the best tool for any gardener in Texas. AgriLife is your best tool. Those are your county extension agencies. They have websites and they will tell you that they have charts and PDFs. And they tell you, hey, this is the variety of onion that does best in this area. This is the variety of peach that is best in your area with the chill hours that you have. So go look at your AgriLife website, and even in other states, they have some sort of ag extension in that area that's funded by your tax money. It's all your tax money. So you need to use the resources that you're paying for. And I've become friends with all these ag agencies, and the agents are great. They're wonderful people. They get asked the same questions over and over again, but they don't care. They're totally fine with it. So definitely go use your resources that you're paying for. They're getting that money whether you like it or not. So go take advantage of it. Call them, email them, go to a meeting. They do meetings and town halls all the time. Use your resources, people, because they're going to get their money regardless. Let's see. What nursery do you get your living soil and Nelsons from, please? So if you're looking for living earth soil, I go and look at whichever they do sell in, I think in Lowe's, but I try to go to their main hubs. They have hubs all around Houston and all around Dallas. They have 16 locations here in Houston. I think they have 14 or 15 in Dallas. So if you look for Living Earth on Google Maps or whatever you use, you're probably gonna, if you're in the Houston area, you're gonna find one. Even in Lake Jackson, they got them down south. So just look for it, and they'll tell you what they have. Just call them up and see what varieties they have. As far as Nelson's plant food, you can use the link in my bio to go and you can order it straight from them. You can order it straight from them. You can get it on Amazon. I don't recommend buying anything on Amazon if you don't have to. I have Amazon links in my, but like if you can go support a smaller business or buy it straight from the manufacturer, it is always better to purchase stuff from the manufacturer, because Amazon is trying to choke the life out of the small business person. They're upcharging massive, amounts of money for people to, they start off, they sell their fertilizer on Nelson for, 20, for every dollar you spend, you're going to give us 5 cents. And then, for every dollar you make, now you're going to give us 10 cents. Well, you're not allowed to raise the price of the product to offset that money that Amazon's getting. And they just keep going and going and going. So if you can support the business and you can wait, a lot of these businesses are doing their own logistics now, so that they're getting stuff shipped out pretty well. It's not going to be any worse than what Amazon is doing. Amazon sucks. Their logistics. It's not any better than the United States Postal Service, but God. Amazon can't. I don't know. It's not. But I always say you're going to save some money if you can wait a little longer. If you don't need it like the next day, even with Amazon, when I buy something the next day, it never comes the next day. So if you can wait a little bit longer, the company will save a little bit of money. You'll help them out. Go to the site. But I have a link in my bio to go get. I got a link in my bio to go get Nelson straight from their website, and that'll actually tell them that I sent you there. So that actually helps me out, that I recommended that you go get the Nelson plant food. My biggest recommendation from Nelson right now is their Genesis. I was talking to Dean Nelson at the factory, walking around, and I told him, I was like, I love your Genesis transplant mix. That is my favorite product that y'all make. It is a miracle worker. Stuff is fantastic. What it is, it's a granule that you literally dig your hole or plant it, or fill your pot, and then you make your little spot for your plant, whether it's in a hole or if it's in a pot. You sprinkle a little bit in there, plant your plant. You can even put a little bit on top, the top dress, just a tad. And it's a mirror. It's the plants do not experience transplant shock. It is literally magic. I don't know what's in it, but it's magic. So if you are looking to try something out, if you're having issues with like maybe crappy soil, or you're having issues with transplanting certain things certain times of year, this is the best time of year in Houston to go outside and plant some trees. I planted 2 fig trees yesterday in some Vigo little raised buckets. I put a good amount of Genesis in there, even though it's not the hot time of year. It's just going to give those plants a little bit of energy to get through the winter. As far as like what nurseries have them, a lot of nurseries around here have them. Most Living Earths carry Nelson plant food. And then Ace Hardware definitely carries Nelson plant food as well. Let's see. Scrolling through some more questions on TikTok. Let's see. If you're in the chat, drop some questions down below. Hey, friend, it's been a minute since I caught a live. Hope you're doing well. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't go live on TikTok much. Honestly, my algorithm on TikTok has been terrible. And I've really been focusing a lot more time on long form content, because it seems like people are reacting to it well. And on TikTok, I'll post a video multiple times a week, and then I'll get comments like, hey, cool. Glad to see you posting a video. Haven't seen your video in months. And I'm like, I post like 5 times a week. And so it's crazy. So I don't know what's going on with TikTok. Maybe I need to go live more often. I have a poly greenhouse 8x12 here in Zone 5, Michigan, and it's held up good support. That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, anytime I'm doing like one of those greenhouses, like a pop-up one or whatever, it's just make sure you add extra supports. Let's see. I'm shopping Black Friday deals, but probably won't install till spring. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Brongia, hello, peeps. Dry as a bone in West Texas here, watering my Chandler strawberries every other day. Yes, if you got strawberries, make sure you're irrigating them bad boys, because they will dry out and they'll get crispy, especially out there in West Texas. I've had really good success with my strawberries. I have not had the best luck with strawberries in the past, because I've always done them in the spring. But people don't know right now is the best time to plant strawberries. Right now is the best time to plant strawberries. Plant them in the ground, plant them in the raised bed, put them in planters. If it's warm like it still is here in Houston, you're going to want to water them more frequently, put them in the shade. But for me, I did a video on TikTok, Instagram, or whatever. I think I got 1.6 million views on Instagram. And I built this little bed, little Vigo bed. I put it on the side, and it's in a part of my yard that doesn't get a whole lot of sunlight. And so my tomatoes didn't do that great. My squash didn't do that great. And so I was like, well, let's see if the strawberries that don't like a whole lot of sun will like it here. So I put those I got them bare root from a buddy, and I stuck them in the soil, and I've been watering them, feeding them pretty well. I'm going to be doing a foliar feed soon, maybe with some Microlife Ocean Harvest. But they're doing fantastic. They're even flowering, and they're gonna put on little fruits already. So I'm excited to hopefully get some strawberries soon. The foliar feeding will probably help. I need to get some foliar feeding going on. What's going on, Happy Heathen? How you doing, man? Hope you are doing good. Like I said, if you are just now you're still hopping in the chat, let me know what you got going on and where you're watching from. I try and always support small businesses, local businesses, absolutely, especially Black Friday. Everybody's getting little trigger happy on Amazon. I was looking at, a lot of places like Lowe's and even like smaller businesses like Ace Hardwares and, have deals going on as well. So make sure to check them out. What's going on, Warren Southern Garden? How you doing? Running around my food forest doing the chop and drop. Yep. It's that time of year. What is my favorite plant to grow? My favorite plant to grow, for like the last year and a half, it's been desert roses. For the last year and a half, it's been mostly desert roses. I've got a ton of them in my garage now. I've got like 40 of them in my garage right now. You don't realize how many you have, and so you have to move them all inside. But yeah, I got a bunch of desert roses. That's probably my favorite, and that's honestly based on like the viewership on my YouTube channels. It sounds like people are knowing me best for desert roses right now. What's going on, Stingman? How you doing? Loyal to the soil. What's going on? Let's see. Should I still water the pomerias? If your pomerias are still actively growing, they're still, if you pull a leaf off and you're still seeing sap flow, I'm still watering my pomerias. But once they start dropping all their leaves, they start going dormant. That's when you're going to want to stop, because they're not going to be using that water. They're going to be, starting to rot. So once they start dropping all their leaves, that's when you can stop watering them. I have been slowing down on watering them. I'm probably going to hit them like maybe twice a week right now. Beneficial microbes. Okay. We're going to get berry strawberries. Oh man, you can get them online. I had ordered some through my local ag extension agency. They did a pre-order for some. Let's see. Have you ever heard of Build Soil? Nope. I have not heard of Build Soil. Let's see. My figs went crazy this year. Yeah, man. Figs went nuts. My figs did really well this year. Figs have been going crazy. I honestly cut back my O'Rourke fig while it still had figs on it. It's been nuts. It's been crazy. I planted my garlic right next to that fig tree, and honestly, they were coming out, and the tree had grown so tall that I couldn't get to the figs. And honestly, we picked so many figs this year. We were kind of figged out. They were just mostly feeding the birds. So we went ahead and chopped it and dropped it. But I went ahead and I propagated everything I had. So I propagated every fig cutting. I've been propagating Texas sage. I've been propagating rosemary. Man, let's see. I've had a fig tree for 2 years, no fruit yet. Oh, that's pretty wild. Figs are pretty prolific, even in containers. One thing I do that always helps get more figs, it's not always necessary, is I foliar feed. I do a bit of foliar feeding, and I feed my figs, especially if you're wanting to get more figs. I water pretty frequently as well. So, it is what it is. I mean, the figs are typically pretty drought resistant, drought tolerant. They handle the cold. They don't need to be fertilized a ton. But I find if I feed them and I water them more frequently, I'm getting more fruit out of it. Yeah, I sold a bunch of fig trees this year too. I've got a bunch of fig trees left over. If anybody in the Houston area is looking for some brown turkey figs, I got about 50 of them in my backyard right now. Not 50. I got quite a few. I need to probably post something though. I thought about just going down the road to the CVS and just putting a sign out in front that said free fig trees and just giving away a bunch of brown turkeys. I'm not even going to propagate my brown turkey this year. I've got my brown turkey is probably the one that has grown the biggest in my yard. But like, man, nobody's buying them anymore. No one's buying the brown turkeys specifically. They're looking for more exotic ones. So I got plenty of those. Let's see. Have you ever been to Southwest Fertilizer in Baylor, Texas? I always buy my seeds there. Also, I got my earth boxes over there. I have 6. I have not been to Southwest Fertilizer, but to be fair, I don't go into Houston very often. I typically only go into Houston, man, whenever I have to. I avoid going into Houston like the plague. You know, I had a thing at Living Earth Soils where I was in Conroe. So I drove through the crazy traffic getting north on Friday morning. And then on my way back, I was like, well, I better make this work. And that's when I went to the Cactus King. I also went to, what's that place called? Is it on my list? Floriculture. Floriculture. I'd follow them on Instagram and they look really cool. So I went by, apparently they have 2 locations of Floriculture. Very hip, nice place. Very cool plant shop. They had really nice stuff. So if you're in the Houston area, check out the Cactus King. Maybe make sure to lock your doors and bring cash because they don't accept cards. And the floriculture was very nice. They also had like some coffee shops and all kinds of cool stuff on the side that you can go to. So it was very nice. The floriculture was very safe. Um, let's see. If your plumeria has an inflow starting, do you need to keep from going dormant? I don't. That's a weird question. I don't understand the question. If your plumeria has an inflow starting, do you mean if it's splitting? Like if it's splitting? I don't think so, but I mean I could be wrong. I would if you have a question like that, I would send you over to Plumeria Papa. He would be a little more specific about something like that. I have plumerias and I'm getting better at them. Um, most of mine have done pretty well, even being getting ready for winter. And you don't have to prune yours at all. I kind of messed up the title of that video where I said winterizing. I meant winterizing the plumerias for me. And when I meant winterizing, I mean like trying to make them fit in my greenhouse because some of them are taller than my greenhouse. And my greenhouse is higher up than my garage, so they wouldn't even fit in my garage. So I was really like, bloom grouping up. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. I mean, I got you. Inflow is bloom grouping. Okay, so let's put another little spike. Okay, yeah, but I think honestly, it's hard. It's hard to keep them from. It's like Jordan Peters is damn hard. It's bloody hard. Stupid. You just have to get them hot, get them warm. Because I'm finding now that we're getting temperatures dipping down into the mid to low 50s, hitting some 40s. I've had plumerias that have been outside, and it's been like 35 degrees outside, and they have taken no damage. I mean, they'll drop leaves, but they don't like have any tip burn or anything like that. But I mean, getting towards the end of the year, if you got inflow, there's a chance it could drop. There's a chance it could drop it. Do I have mulberries? Yes, I do. I ended up getting some mulberries from, I think I got them on clearance at Home Depot like last year. This is the time of year you want to shop for some clearance stuff. I was mentioning it earlier. I went to Houston Garden Center, which I don't typically do. You know, I don't typically go to Houston Garden Center for much, but they had 50% off on all their terracotta, ceramic pots, and like plastic pots, like heavy duty ones. And so I went and got that big one for that giant desert rose I've got. And I have 2 big like hibiscuses, those braided ones I got from Walmart, the ones I rescued a couple years ago. They're 6, 8 foot tall now. I prune them back every year. but they were getting so top heavy, even being pruned back, that I needed some heavy duty pots. And ceramic pots can be really expensive, especially like in the big box stores. So when you find a deal like 50% off, you go get them. And I checked out. I got those pots. I checked out, and then I noticed they had some really nice trees, and like they were all 70% off. And I was like, ooh, let's walk around and see what they got. And so I walked around and I found I guess I'm becoming a rose guy, but I found a single trunk knockout rose. Is light pink. It's pretty cool. I got that one for like $10. And then there was also a papaya tree, which I think I paid like $8. And then they had like their staghorn ferns and their ponytail palms and all kinds of cool stuff. They had a 3-gallon pot with like 5 ponytail palms in it. And I did the math and it was like $6. I was like, I could freaking just split them up, sell them for $10 a piece, and make my money back. I could keep one and sell 3, or give away 3. People love ponytail palms. They're kind of slow growers, and they do fairly well inside too. I gave one to my mother-in-law and my mom for Christmas a couple of years ago, and they're doing great. I took one outside and killed it. So ponytail palms are cool. So if you're looking to get some stuff, make sure to check it out. But then go to a smaller nursery and get some stuff like that. Let's see. I planted like 70 more fruit trees this year. That's awesome. Yeah, the mulberry I've got, I think, is a dwarf everbearing mulberry. I believe it's from Doers, and it puts out little bitty mulberries. Puts out little bitty mulberries, and I tried them. It's pretty good. Let's see what we got over here. But it's natural for them to go dormant. Yeah, talk about the plumerias. Yeah, they're gonna go dormant naturally, but you can force them to go dormant by pruning them back and putting them in almost complete darkness and like cutting off water to them. Have you ever made your own book about gardening? No, I don't have the time. I haven't had the time to make my own book. Glad to see you back on today. Went to Fred's this past weekend and got some awesome Buddha belly. Oh, nice. Yeah. Buddha bellies are awesome. I've got 3 Buddha bellies. The third one I just got, and it is actually a yellow flowering Buddha belly, which I got from a nursery called, I don't remember. I got it online. I saw a deal, and I bought a couple plants that I didn't have before, and I bought some rarer succulents. So yeah, Fred Reyes is awesome though. Fred Reyes is really cool. I always enjoy that. Yeah, if you love Fred Reyes, I would highly recommend going to the Cactus King. Bring about $100 to $200 cash. Cactus King. It's definitely a place to try out. That video I did. Hey, and I want to apologize. I want to apologize to everybody who watched my YouTube video that just came out on, was it Saturday or Saturday? I forget. It was on Saturday afternoon. I posted it on Saturday afternoon from the Cactus King. I got a ton of comments about how the video was making them dizzy. and if I'm being honest, I was getting dizzy editing it. And I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was just a combination of like me trying to get everything with my selfie stick and the GoPro or what, or if it was the frame rate as well. It was like 4K. I've been doing all my stuff in 4K, 30 frames per second. But I was getting kind of nauseous watching it, editing it. So it makes you feel better. I was having some issues too. I don't know what caused that. I'm going to try to keep my camera a little more still going forward. But yeah, sorry about that. I apologize to anybody who got nauseous. I'm really sorry. That sucks. Let's see. I'm publishing a book December 1st, Essential Guide to Soil Science. That's awesome, Kay. Yeah, whenever you publish it, let me know and I will share the link. Yeah, I'm always looking to help people out and help expose people. Like I said, this week we've got the garden party. If you're watching on TikTok, you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, know that I try to do my lives on Monday and Friday at 7, but sometimes it just doesn't work. I have appointments or I've got like family things and just can't do it. But I never miss a Wednesday doing the garden party. And the garden party, we've been doing it for over a year now. TikTok, you probably have no idea what the garden party is, but that is our weekly podcast on Facebook and YouTube. We love it. It's with my buddy Phil's Figs. We added Gardening with Des. She's on there. And every week we try to bring on a new guest. And we have a returning guest whose name is Garden Marcus. I don't know if y'all watched. I don't know if y'all watched the last time he was on. Let's go find his book. Looking for his book. Yeah, there we go. Seasons of Growth. This is his most recent book. This is Garden Marcus. I swear to God, Garden Marcus, that last episode we did, we were all four of us were like teared up at the end of that. It was like the most emotional, powerful episode of the garden party we've ever done. So much that like I wanted to get him back as soon. Like I didn't want to get him back like the next week, but I wanted to like try to make him a recurring guest, like coming back on every once in a while. And he's coming back on tomorrow or on Wednesday. And the kind of the theme of this week's episode is going to be being thankful, like what we're thankful for. It's like that. And oh my God, like if you bring the tissues for this week's episode, because Marcus the man is very eloquent the way he speaks, and it is fantastical. Like I don't know how to describe it. If you can go back and watch, he was on back in September, I believe, September or early October. It was the Wednesday before the Figtoberfest. That's what it was. It was a week before Figtoberfest. And we were all in tears at the end of it. And it was fantastic. I loved it. And so I know it's going to be another great episode with Marcus. He'll be on with us this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure to tune in for that. And then, like I said earlier, go and subscribe to me on YouTube and Facebook. And also, the Garden Party is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find the Garden Party. And we do at least an hour every single week. And I have not missed 1 week. I have not missed 1 week of the Garden Party. I have committed over 60 hours to this podcast now. And so it's been a great time. I'm still not very good at it, but it's been so much fun. And I love having new guests on, people that, are from different areas, different backgrounds, and they can talk and, teach us different new things. That's the theme song. The theme song of the Garden Party, I thought of it in the shower. And it goes, "This is the garden party, and we want a garden party with you. We talk about the plants we grow and some things you might not know. The garden party." So that's the theme song of the Garden Party. I come up with stupid songs all the time, and I blame my dad for this. Because growing up, my dad would make a stupid song out of everything, and it would like annoy us so crazy. There was one point where he did a singing, not a voicemail, a singing answering machine message to where people called, they would get a singing, song like that. So my dad's a great singer, but he comes up with some crazy songs, and that's what I do now. We got some. My fig tree isn't doing great, but I'm worried about it getting too cold. If it's in the ground, what you can do if you're about to get a freeze, you can cut it back and you can cover it with mulch. And chances are it's a higher probability of it coming back. If it's dropping leaves and looking kind of nasty, well, that's kind of the way it's going dormant. I got some figs that are dropping leaves, kind of going bare, and we haven't really. I think we've gotten down to 38. I think last week we got down to 38, very briefly, but that's enough to where like it yellowed quite a few of my plumeria leaves, but no tip damage or anything like that. Just be cautious, just be cautious of that. But you can also feed it a little bit. I mean, it is what it is. Let's see. Oh my goodness. We've been on for a little. What vegetables are you planting now? So like I said earlier, I just got done planting onions today. I was planting onions today. I did, I've been planting radishes and carrots and all that good stuff. We had to look up some recipes for radishes because we got so many freaking radishes popping up. It's insane. But there's a lot of cold weather stuff. We got cabbage, we got Brussels sprouts, we got broccoli, we got cilantro. A lot of people think that cilantro is a spring, summer herb. Nope, it is a fall, winter herb. Well, not a winter. Depends on where you're at, which winter. But for us, it's more of a fall, winter, herb here in the Houston area, in 9B where I'm at. Yeah, it's doing pretty well. But all my brassicas, I mean, my cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cabbage, lettuce, everything's doing amazing right now. I planted some dill. My strawberries are doing great. Just went ahead and I put some pine bark mulch. I went and got some Living Earth pine bark mulch just to go ahead and it's not gonna. A lot of people think that like adding pine bark mulch is going to like acidify your soil. I mean, it would have to be a lot of pine bark mulch to actually acidify it. I think you would actually get more acidity if you were to use pine needle mulch, if I'm being honest. But either way, I typically only use the pine bark stuff for like, roses, azaleas, strawberries, stuff that likes more acidity. Um, Not that it's going to acidify the soil too much, but it's not going to draw acidity away from the soil. I have a bougainvillea that is a little bit leggy and it's putting out some color now. Should I prune? Alvin, Texas. You can absolutely prune your bougainvillea back. Yeah, you can do that. I will typically prune back my bougainvillea pretty hard before I put it in the greenhouse. I know a lot of people are moving towards putting the bougainvillea in the ground, which is another good option. I took some bougainvillea to my dad that they planted in the ground, so I'm excited to see how that turns out. I've got one, and I forget what it's called. I call it Purple Heart, but it's called something else. It's like Taiwanese Dream or something like that. It's white and it turns pinkish purple. Yeah, yeah. No, I said, but I keep it pruned back almost bonsai esque. It's more of a tree. It needs to go in a bigger pot, honestly. So I've got that going. It's doing pretty well. Yeah, it's really nice. I've got a bunch of pictures. Bougainvillea are great. What you need to know is that, man, it likes to be dry. It likes to dry out. The bougainvillea come from like the Mediterranean area. So if you're going to grow bougainvillea, you want to let it completely dry out. You almost want to let it get over dried out, let it kind of, get abused. Like if you're not getting any color out of your bougainvillea, don't water it for a week or two and it'll start putting out color. I mean, you can, and right now I'm barely watering it at all. Let's see. Oh, I got a question here. How do you mulch your vegetable beds? I'm not really mulching my beds right now. I'm not really mulching them. You can. I use a pretty chunky like a compost, and so it stays kind of mulchy on top. But you can go through and you can add. I mean, most of the stuff I've got right now is going to take. Oh, let's see. The carrots and the radishes are pretty quick to harvest. Stuff like my cabbage and my tatsoi. I got tatsoi too, Keith. I'm not really going to mulch any of that because it's fine. It doesn't really need it. It can handle the cold and everything like that. The one thing I really mulched was my strawberries, where I just kind of sprinkled about a quarter inch around all my strawberries, quarter inch to half inch, kind of, just to give it a little bit more protection. It's going to help them from drying out too fast. Even though that's in a low lying area, so it's not super fast draining. So yeah, and actually that bed has pine bark nuggets on the bottom as well, so it's getting a little bit it's a little bit nice there. Let's see. Did you ever hear back from the persimmon neighbor? I don't know what you're talking about. Persimmon neighbor. I use straw on all my raised beds, help the moisture retention. Yeah, I don't have issues with the moisture retention too much. If my beds were drying out too fast, I would maybe mess with something like that. I worry about straw and hay and stuff like that for your beds because some of it will have seeds, and then you got to worry about, that. I'm already dealing with that with my basil. Oh my God, I'll never put basil in my raised beds ever again. Ever, 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 ever again. I put that holy basil and the Thai basil in the raised bed, and oh my God, it is a nightmare of how many seedlings have come up and are coming up in the bed, coming up in the gravel. Oh my God, it's insane. So I will never put them in my beds again. I'll put them in a pot in the middle of the yard away from everything else, but I'll never, ever put them in my raised beds again. Ever, ever, ever. No, that's not me. Do I grow tree kale? I don't grow tree kale, but I know what you're talking about. People, you can prune I mean, a lot of people think they need to harvest like the whole head of kale or whole like, you know, the broccoli head, the whole head of broccoli and harvest the whole plant with it. You can leave all that stuff in harvest. So like what he's talking about with the kale, you can harvest a couple of leaves at a time. I really enjoy when it's cold harvesting, some leaves of kale and eating it right on the spot because they taste so good. They taste so good and almost sweet because whenever you have almost a freezing point with kale, the the starches start turning into sugar, so it tastes better. So if you ever had crappy kale, it was probably harvested when it was hot. So try kale again, and make sure if you're on TikTok watching, tap that screen. Let's get those hearts growing. Hit those hearts going. Get them going. I haven't gone live on TikTok for forever, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go live on Facebook and YouTube. Might as well just, go live on here as well. See, there we go. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Looking healthy. Thank you. I've actually lost 40 pounds. I lost about 40 pounds. But there we go. Haven't seen you in a while. I post almost every single day on TikTok. That's why I haven't been going live on TikTok. Maybe I need to start going live more often in my videos to get pushed in the algorithm. Because here lately, my videos don't get popped. They don't get posted. People will see a video like, oh, I haven't seen you in 6 months. I'm like, man, I post videos all the time. But yeah, tap those screens and make sure to like and subscribe. That's one thing I see on my videos sometimes. You go to your analytics and look at who's watching your videos, what's your age range, what's your demographic, and it says like 98% of the people that watch your videos are not subscribed. And so the nicest thing you can do for me is subscribe. The video you like it, hit that like button. And if you want to help me out even more, you can share it to a friend. That's the coolest thing. Y'all don't know how much that helps push these videos to the algorithm, and gives me more success and helps me build this channel. I do a lot of content for free. I do the meetups and everything, and so like all I ask is that subscribe and maybe give me a like. So I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff going on. I've got a bunch of projects. Like I said earlier, I've got probably upwards of 15 to 20 videos to get edited over the Thanksgiving break. I took the whole week off to get a lot of things taken care of. And that's the goal. That's the goal, to get a bunch of stuff taken care of. So if you start seeing a bunch of content, I'm going to try to stagger it. Sometimes when I get stuff edited, I get like content diarrhea where I just post it all, hey, I don't like doing that. I need to stop doing that. I need to schedule it and stagger it out. So should have another video coming out tomorrow. I don't post long form videos on days when I go live, obviously. But we do these lives Monday at 7 p.m. We do the garden party. So Monday is the Texas Garden Guy show. It's at 7 p.m. And Wednesday is the garden party, which is at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time every Wednesday. And then Friday is TGIF. I work every other Friday. So it's either at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time or 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, depending on whether I'm off or I'm working. So I'm trying to do 3 lives a week, trying to, interact with y'all as much as possible. It's so much fun. A lot of the stuff I do is, time consuming. It's so time consuming. It'll take me all day to create a video, and it'll take me all night to edit the video. So to be able to come on and go live and interact with y'all, it's kind of a fun way and an easy way for me to get some content out. This a little more stress free. You know what I mean? And it's fun because I love to get to know you guys and answer questions and kind of build this community. And going into 2025, that's what you want to do. You want to grow this bigger and better. and just make this the best gardening community there is. Let's see. Can I still leave the gardenia outside? Central Texas. I usually bring my gardenia in. I left mine out the other day when it hit 38. If it gets any colder than that, I definitely would probably bring it in. Um, but I'd be looking to bring that inside soon. What do I do on the garden party? So the garden party is our weekly podcast. We've been doing it for over a year now. I have not missed a week. We do it every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and it's a fun, hour at least an hour of talking about gardening. We have my co-host is Phil's Figs. He is a fig aficionado from North Carolina. And then we have a new guest who's been on before, but she's kind of become our third host, and that's Gardening with Des. If you're on TikTok, you probably know who she is. Gardening with Des is amazing. She's from Austin, Texas, so she is our hippie. And we bring in a new guest every single week. We try to bring in a different guest every week. We have some recurring guests that are like our fan favorites that we love to talk to. And we talk gardening. And I love to bring people in from different parts of the world. We've had Canadian people. We've had, people from Washington, Arizona, Colorado. We bring in people from all over the place and try to get different, points of view on what they're gardening, what they're doing. You don't know. If I'm in Texas, I'm growing something way different. I mean, even from Texas to even from Houston, Texas to Dallas, Texas, it's 4 hours difference. You're growing different stuff different times of year. I mean, you have different things you can grow. So it's cool to hear here to Jason. I just wanted to mention Jason Cog Hill over in Alabama. I did my nursery tour over there in Alabama when I went to go meet him over there at the meetup. The nurseries in Alabama are completely different than ones in Houston. It's all camellias and roses and all that crazy stuff. It's and some of y'all, and that's how y'all probably heard about me was from Jason McCog Hill. I thought I get so many comments about people about me touching my beard. I'll stop now. I end up sitting here stroking my beard like Dr. Evil pets his cat. What is a big project? What is your big project? Oh, my big project. Yeah. So my big project was the indoor grow light setup. I had to send the video in to get approved to post the time-lapse version. I'm still working on the YouTube long form video of it. But I partnered with Northern Tools to basically redo I cleaned out my entire garage that was full of junk, junk. I got rid of so much stuff. And yeah, it's insane. So, but I partnered with Northern Tools and we did shelves and grow lights and all that good stuff and got my garage ready for winter. And I already been moving some plants around, getting stuff modified to fit everything over winter because, my greenhouse is not big enough. My greenhouse is not big enough to hold all the plants, yeah, I had to go a little bit bigger, but that video will be coming soon. We got, let's see, 7 minutes left. I got 7 minutes left. Everybody in TikTok, thank y'all so much for hopping in there. This has been great. TikTok has been fantastic tonight. I haven't gone live on TikTok in forever. So those of y'all haven't seen me in a while, happy to see you. My friend Jeremy over at Dirty Punk Gardening, he's like, dude, you got to start going live on TikTok more often. I was like, well, apparently I do. So, and I think me and him are going to start doing some more lives together. He likes to do lives while he's doing stuff. Now that I got my indoor grow light set up, maybe we'll do some more live streams out there. I don't get great internet in there. I don't know what it is. In the metal garage door or what. Don't know. But got the office set up the way I like it. The office looks good. Lightings, everything looks nice. I need a backlight. It shines this way. So I don't have any shadows. But yeah, I'm getting excited. Tomorrow I'm going to transplant that. What is this on the ground? Tomorrow I'm going to transplant my papaya that I got today. I'm going to try to figure out where I'm going to put that rose. I think I want to put it in the flower bed. I think I'm going to put it in the flower bed so that it just thrives. I'm in Arkansas. Thoughts of leaving elephant ears in the ground or taking them out? Most people aren't as worried about their elephant ears. If they, I don't have any elephant ears, But here's what I would do. Here's what I do know about elephant ears is you could probably dig a pup up. So what I would do is maybe cut it back, maybe dig up a pup, repot it, and put it away for the winter. And then hopefully it comes back, the one that you had in the ground. But if not, you still have a pup. That's kind of what I do with my propagations as well. I leave some stuff out, but I always have a backup plan. Like I do everything I cut off, I propagate. And stuff like, your elephant ears, they're going to make pups. So you can take slice a little pup off, cut it back, and then mulch. Cut it back and then cover it with mulch, like 6 inches of mulch. Just cover it up. And then hopefully over the winter, it's pretty safe. And then that heat that's going to be trapped under there should keep that bulb alive. And then hopefully you'll come back in the spring. Yeah, because that's what people do with figs around here sometimes. If they have a fig that dies back pretty heavily, which most of the ones I've got now don't die back that hard. Any varieties that have died in my backyard in containers, I have not rebought. I don't go and get them again. I sell my fig trees, and everything in my backyard are my mother plants, and so I only sell varieties that I know do really well because I baby the hell out of my fig trees. And so if I'm selling them to somebody, they're not going to probably baby them as much as I did. They're going to maybe use and abuse them. So I don't want to sell someone a plant that's going to, die. What do you do with your desert roses? So I put all my desert roses, I don't even trust them in the greenhouse. I keep them inside my garage under grow lights. Like I said, the video will be coming out soon of that. I had to coordinate with Northern Tools because they helped me. They partnered with me on this video. So I had to coordinate when was the most optimal time to post all that content so that it works out for them. So hopefully this week sometime, it'll be a 60-second like time lapse of the whole process. But also I used 2 cameras. I had a phone going this way, and I had my DJI Action 4 going this way the whole time. So I basically shot 2 videos at one time. 2 videos at one time. So yeah. There's a time lapse that's going to be up on TikTok and Instagram, and then there will be a long form YouTube video with a lot more instructions and explaining what I'm doing. Let's see. Have I ever had a lemon tree? Yeah, all my citrus for the most part are in those Vigo rolling containers. I put them in the winter in the greenhouse. I put them in the greenhouse and I never took them out. I just left them in the greenhouse, and they're doing pretty well. I could have honestly planted them in the ground and kept the greenhouse around them. That's a kind of an option you can do as well. What can I do with my gardenias? Your gardenias, you could bring them indoors, or you could put them in a windowsill over winter. But I'm stroking the beard again. Stop touching the beard. But yeah, you can bring them indoors. They'll probably go a little bit dormant, but they'll come back. I've had gardenias come back pretty strong, actually. But there might be something if you don't have a greenhouse or you don't have like a garage. Maybe even you can buy like just one grow light, and put it like in your fixture outside and give it a little bit of light. You can even do that, or put it on like a little heat lamp, little receptacle. You can do that. Yeah. Now I'm trying to not use heat lamps. I gotta probably next week reach out to an electrician and get them to come out to my house and probably add a receptacle and a breaker to my box so that I could run my heater out to my greenhouse. So that I need to find an electrician in the Houston area to come help me out with that. Here we're growing sugar apples. Urban Harvest says they can grow in Houston. I think I know what you're talking about, but I've never grown sugar apples. I'm very space confined, so it's hard to grow certain things. And apples are one of them that like have to go on the ground, unless sugar apples are, referring to something else. Yeah, I'd have to know exactly what you're talking about. But guys, we are 1 minute down, so get your last questions in. You got 50 seconds to tell me your last thoughts. Tell me in the comment section, what are you doing what are you going to do this week in the garden? I know a lot of y'all are off this week for work. I know a lot of people are getting ready for winter. I know a lot of people are trying to get a million things done in the yard. Real quick, in the comment section down below, let me know what you're doing this week in the garden, trying to get ready for winter. What kind of avocados trees do you plant? I don't have any avocados. I don't really like avocado. But my buddy Jorge at Jorge's Hidden Gardens would tell you probably the Joey. I believe the Joey is pretty cold tolerant, but ask him on. He does a lot of videos on avocados, so check him out. Jorge's Hidden Gardens. You can find him on Instagram as Jorge's Hidden Gardens. Yeah, he's in the Houston area. All right, guys. Hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you on the next one. End the live, end the stream. Oh.